Far away from Earth, in the deep space of the Mavex galaxy, the Krelth Dominion was growing restless. For many years they had watched planets rise and fall, empires build and break. The Krelth believed themselves to be the strongest power in this part of the universe. Their fleets were huge, their weapons deadly, and their rule feared. But lately there was talk among their leaders about one small blue planet, Earth. Earth was far from the Krelth Dominion's borders, a tiny world, spinning around an ordinary star. It was home to humans, creatures the Krelth had only heard about in old reports. These reports said Earth was primitive, slow to develop, and not a threat. But now, new messages were coming in. Strange signals, rapid progress in technology, and signs of powerful weapons being built. The Krelth were confused and suspicious. Why would Earth send such signals? Asked Commander Vrax, a strong, sharp-eyed leader of the Krelth fleet. Maybe they are preparing for war, answered High General Threx, his voice cold and serious. The Council of Krelth leaders met in their great hall, a massive place filled with sharp shadows and glowing control panels. They studied the new information carefully. The humans were building something big, something dangerous. We cannot wait, said High General Threx, pounding his fist on the table. If Earth is preparing weapons, it means they want to fight. We must strike first. Some council members were unsure. Earth was still far away, and attacking a new enemy was risky. But the fear of being caught unprepared won the day. The decision was made. The Krelth Dominion would declare war on Earth. Far below, on Earth, life went on as usual. People in cities worked, played, and dreamed. Scientists studied stars, engineers built machines, and children laughed in parks. The governments of Earth talked quietly about strange signals and reports of a possible alien threat, but most people did not believe the danger was real. On a special command ship orbiting Earth, the Krelth fleet prepared to send their message. A loud, clear broadcast was sent to every corner of the planet in every language they could translate. We, the Krelth Dominion, declare war on Earth. Prepare to surrender or be destroyed. The message shocked the leaders of Earth. Governments called emergency meetings, soldiers prepared for battle. People looked to the sky, worried and afraid. No one knew why the Krelth wanted war. No one understood what was coming. But the humans had a secret. For centuries, hidden from outsiders and even many on Earth, humanity had changed. They were no longer simple beings. Through hard work, intelligence, and the will to survive, humans had grown stronger. Stronger than anyone could guess. Beneath the cities and secret bases, human special forces trained with weapons and technology that seemed like science fiction. They practiced strategies that combined brains and bravery. Scientists worked on machines that could learn and adapt. The world was ready, even if most people did not know it. Commander Vrax watched the Earth from his ship's window. He believed the humans would break quickly. They are just animals, he said to his officers. They cannot stand against us. But his officers were uneasy. They had seen strange signals, sudden bursts of energy, and strange patterns in Earth's defenses. Something was different about this planet, something no one warned them about. As the Krelth ships moved closer, the humans prepared silently. They did not shout or show fear. Instead, they focused on what they did best, fighting to protect their home. The first battle would be the test. But the real war was only beginning. The cold silence of space was broken by the sudden roar of engines and flashing lights as the Krelth fleet entered Earth's solar system. The huge ships, dark and sharp like jagged mountains, moved in tight formation toward Earth. Commander, Vrax stood on the bridge of the lead ship, watching the blue planet grow larger through the thick window. Prepare the weapons, Vrax ordered. We will show them the power of the Krelth Dominion. Below on Earth, alarm sirens echoed through the major cities. People rushed to shelters, soldiers hurried to their posts, and fighter jets scrambled into the sky. The Krelth had declared war, and now they were here. It was the moment Earth had feared but hoped would never come. The first attack came fast and brutal. The Krelth ships fired energy beams that cut through the thin shields protecting Earth's satellites. Communication arrays exploded in fireballs, leaving the planet momentarily blind and isolated. On the ground, millions watched the sky in terror. News stations tried to keep calm, but the truth was clear. Earth was under attack. In a hidden command center deep underground, Earth's leaders gathered around glowing screens. General Mira Sanchez, a tough and wise woman who had spent years preparing for this day, gave orders calmly but firmly. "Activate the defense systems," she said. "Deploy all units. Protect the cities at all costs. Soldiers and pilots around." The world responded immediately. Fighter jets soared toward the Krelth ships, launching missiles and firing lasers. On the ground, anti-air defenses hummed to life, shooting at the enemy fighters that came too close. But the Krelth were strong. Their ships were built for war, and their weapons were deadly. Many Earth missiles missed or were destroyed before they could reach their targets. Fighter jets fell from the sky and explosions lit up the night. Still, Earth's forces fought back with determination. Human pilots pushed their machines beyond the limits, using quick thinking and bold moves to surprise the invaders. Some small ships slipped between Krelth vessels, firing precise shots that damaged enemy engines. In the middle of the chaos, a small team of elite human soldiers prepared for their own secret mission. They were the Shadow Wolves, highly trained operatives equipped with the most advanced weapons and technology. Their task was to strike the Krelth where it hurt most: the command ship. Lieutenant Jason Reed, leader of the Shadow Wolves, checked his gear and nodded at his team. "This is our chance. We hit them hard and we show them Earth is not an easy target." Using stealth ships designed to avoid detection, the Shadow Wolves moved quietly toward the enemy fleet. The Krelth sensors were powerful, but the humans' technology was better at hiding in the dark. Suddenly, alarms blared on the Krelth command ship. "Intruders detected," Commander Vrax shouted. "Send fighters to intercept." The Shadow Wolves opened fire, moving like shadows between the enemy ships. Explosions shook the command ship as missiles struck critical systems. The Krelth crew was shocked by the sudden attack. They had expected an easy victory, but the humans fought with surprising skill and courage. Back on Earth, General Sanchez watched the battle through live feeds. She felt a mix of fear and pride. The war had begun in the worst way, but the spirit of humanity was stronger than she had hoped. "Hold the line," she said. "Show them what Earth can do." As the fight continued, another surprise awaited the Krelth. Earth's AI systems, hidden in networks across the world, began to take control of defenses and weapons. These machines learned quickly, adapting to Krelth tactics and finding weak points in their attacks. The Krelth commanders struggled to keep up. Their plans were no longer working. Earth was fighting back in ways they had never seen before. "Commander." Vrax was furious. "This is impossible. How can these humans be so strong?" His second-in-command, Officer Drax, replied quietly, "We may have underestimated them, Commander." In the skies above Earth, the battle raged through the night. Explosions lit up the darkness like stars, and the sound of engines and lasers filled the air. Earth's cities trembled under the pressure, but their people held firm. Families huddled in shelters, listening to news reports and hoping for safety. Soldiers fought bravely, knowing that their world depended on their success. The first strike by the Krelth had been devastating, but it had not broken Earth's spirit. Instead, it had awakened something deep inside humanity, a fierce determination to protect their home no matter the cost. In the final hours of the battle, the Shadow Wolves made their way back to Earth's surface, their mission a success. They had damaged the Krelth command ship, slowing the enemy's advance. Lieutenant Reed looked up at the night sky where the last Krelth ships were retreating. "They think this is over," he said. "They have no idea what they're up against." On the Krelth command ship, Commander Vrax stared at the damaged controls. His anger burned, but beneath it was fear. The war with Earth would be harder than anyone expected. Far below on Earth, General Sanchez prepared her next orders. The battle was only beginning and humanity was ready to fight. The skies above Earth were still filled with smoke and flashing lights from the recent battle. The Krelth fleet had retreated, but they were far from defeated. On the surface, cities were damaged, and millions of people were frightened. But the true battle was only beginning, and Earth held secrets the Krelth had not yet seen. In a hidden base deep beneath the Rocky Mountains, a group of scientists and soldiers gathered around a large table covered with maps and glowing screens. General Mira Sanchez entered the room, her face calm but determined. "We cannot win by just fighting in the skies," she said. "We need to use everything we have, including what they don't expect." The room was silent as the people looked at her. What did she mean? Earth's regular armies and defenses had been tested, but now it was time to reveal the next step. In secret laboratories around the world, human engineers worked on strange machines and weapons. Some were small and fast, able to move quietly through enemy lines. Others were large, powerful weapons that could change the battlefield in a moment. But the most important weapon was not metal or fire. It was the human mind and body. For years, special programs had been working to improve humans themselves. Soldiers were trained to be faster, stronger, and smarter. They used advanced suits that helped them move silently and protect them from harm. Their weapons were connected to their thoughts, making their attacks precise and deadly. Lieutenant Jason Reed, leader of the Shadow Wolves, walked through the base with his team. They were ready to fight again. They had trained hard, learned new skills, and tested new equipment. "We have to surprise them," Reed said. "They think they know us, but they don't. They don't know what humans can really do." Outside the base, strange machines moved through the forests and mountains. These were drones and robots designed to scout, fight, and gather information. They were silent and invisible to the enemy's sensors. Meanwhile, in cities, civilians joined the fight in their own ways. Engineers worked on repairing damaged equipment. Scientists developed new ways to protect people from energy attacks. People learned how to use technology to help each other survive. The Krelth Dominion was strong, but Earth's strength was in its unity and creativity. Far away, in the Krelth command ship, Commander Vrax watched the reports coming in. He saw the drones moving through forests, the new human weapons in action, and the unexpected resistance on the ground. "This is not what we expected," Vrax said. "The humans are not just fighting back, they are changing the rules." He ordered his officers to prepare for a new kind of war. The Krelth would bring in heavier weapons and more soldiers. They would try to crush Earth's secret forces before they could grow stronger. Back on Earth, General Sanchez prepared her teams. "This is the moment," she told them. "Show them the power of human will." The next battle was not in the open sky, but in shadows and forests, in cities and underground tunnels. Human soldiers used their new skills to attack Krelth supply lines, sabotage their machines, and confuse their leaders. The Krelth found themselves fighting an enemy they could not see or predict. Each step forward was met with traps and ambushes. Their heavy weapons were useless in the narrow tunnels and dense forests. Lieutenant Reed's team moved through the shadows like ghosts. They struck quickly, then disappeared before the enemy could react. They used their suits to blend into the darkness and their weapons to silence enemies without noise. One night, Reed's team destroyed a Krelth supply depot hidden in an old factory. Explosions rocked the area, but no civilians were hurt. The Krelth soldiers panicked, knowing their resources were running low. "This is just the beginning," Reed said, watching the fires burn. "They don't know who they're fighting." Back in the secret labs, scientists developed even more advanced technology. Some weapons could change shape, others could heal wounds quickly. They worked tirelessly, knowing that each new invention could save lives. The people of Earth began to believe in victory. They saw that they were not alone. Their minds, bodies, and machines were one strong force. Commander Vrax faced a difficult choice. He could keep sending more soldiers and weapons, risking heavy losses, or try to negotiate. But the Krelth pride would not allow surrender. The war was no longer just about territory or power. It was a test of will, a battle to see which species could survive and grow stronger under fire. And Earth was ready to prove that humans were more than just another planet. The war raged on, and the Krelth Dominion grew more desperate. Their great ships and powerful weapons could not break the spirit of Earth's defenders. Every battle left them confused and frustrated. The humans fought not only with technology, but with something deeper, something unexpected. Commander Vrax sat in his command room staring at the reports from the front lines. His face was tight with anger and disbelief. "Why can't we win?" he demanded. "They fight harder than any species I have ever known." His second-in-command, Officer Drax, stepped forward. "Commander, there is something about these humans we have not understood. They are not just strong. They have been changed, trained, and prepared in ways we never predicted." Vrax frowned. "Explain." Drax took a deep breath. "Our scouts captured a human soldier yesterday. We learned that they have been secretly improving themselves for many years. Genetic enhancements, mental training, and technology that connects directly to their minds. They are no longer the simple creatures we thought." Vrax leaned back in his chair. The truth was clear now, but it was harder to accept than he expected. On Earth, deep beneath the cities and mountains, the truth was carefully guarded. The humans, who fought the war on the front lines, were not just soldiers. They were the product of centuries of hard work to survive in a harsh universe. In hidden laboratories, scientists had worked on human evolution. They had found ways to make people stronger, faster, and smarter. They had created suits that could protect and enhance every movement. But most important of all was the human mind. Years ago, a program called Project Sentinel began. It trained humans to control their bodies and machines with their thoughts. It taught them to focus, to stay calm, and to think faster than any enemy. Lieutenant Jason Reed and his Shadow Wolves were among the best of these warriors. They had trained their minds and bodies to be in perfect harmony. Their suits allowed them to move unseen. Their weapons responded instantly to their commands. Reed knew the truth about humanity's hidden power. He had seen soldiers survive injuries that should have been fatal. He had watched his team face impossible odds and come out victorious. One evening, as the Shadow Wolves prepared for another mission, Reed gathered his team. "They think we are just animals," he said quietly. "They do not know what we have become. We are stronger because we fight with our hearts and our minds." His team nodded, ready to face whatever came next. Meanwhile, General Sanchez met with the world's leaders. She shared the secret of Project Sentinel and the enhanced soldiers. "We have waited for this moment," she said. "Now the whole world must unite. We must show the galaxy that Earth is not to be underestimated." The Krelth Dominion tried to understand this new human threat. They sent spies and scientists to study the enhanced soldiers. But the humans were careful. Their secrets were protected by layers of technology and loyalty. In one battle, a Krelth general ordered his troops to capture a human commander alive. They wanted to learn more. But the human commander escaped using a combination of skill and technology that amazed even the Krelth soldiers. Back on the Krelth command ship, Commander Vrax realized that the war was changing. No longer was it about simple conquest. It was a fight for survival and respect. "We declared war because we feared them," Vrax said to his officers. "But now I see that fear was real. These humans are not like any other species." His officers looked at him unsure. "Prepare for a long war," Vrax continued. "We must learn from them, or we will lose everything." On Earth, the hidden truth gave the people new hope. They were not just fighting for their homes, they were fighting to show the universe what humanity truly was. And humanity was ready. The war between Earth and the Krelth Dominion had reached a new stage. The first attacks had shaken Earth, but they had also awakened something powerful inside humanity. The humans were no longer just defending their planet. They were ready to fight back with all their strength and skill. General Mira Sanchez stood in the command center, watching the live map of the battlefield. Red dots showed the enemy's positions, and blue dots marked Earth's forces moving forward. The tide of the war was beginning to turn. "We have the advantage now," Sanchez told her officers. "It's time to take the fight to them." The Krelth fleet was still large and dangerous, but Earth's new strategies and weapons had made a difference. The humans were using their knowledge of the terrain and technology to surprise the enemy. Their drones and special forces moved quickly and quietly, striking where the Krelth least expected. Lieutenant Jason Reed and the Shadow Wolves were at the heart of this new offensive. Their missions took them deep into enemy territory. They destroyed supply lines, sabotaged weapons, and captured important information. Their suits made them almost invisible, and their teamwork was perfect. One night, Reed's team entered a Krelth base hidden in a desert canyon. The soldiers moved like shadows through the dark tunnels. They placed charges on fuel tanks and weapons caches. Within minutes, explosions rocked the base, destroying important supplies. As they escaped, Reed looked back at the burning base. "This is just the beginning," he said. "We will show them that Earth fights back." The humans were also winning in space. Earth's new fighter pilots used faster, smaller ships that could dodge the Krelth's heavy weapons. They hit enemy ships quickly and retreated before the Krelth could respond. These hit-and-run attacks caused chaos in the Krelth fleet. Back on the Krelth command ship, Commander Vrax was growing more worried. Reports of losses were coming in faster than he liked. The humans had changed the war, and now the Krelth had to adapt. "We cannot fight the way we did before," Vrax said. "We must find a new strategy." His advisors suggested using more powerful weapons and sending more troops, but Vrax knew this would only lead to more losses. Instead, he ordered his scientists to study human tactics and technology carefully. On Earth, General Sanchez met with the leaders of allied planets who had watched the war closely. Some had supported Earth secretly, sending supplies and information. Others were waiting to see who would win before choosing a side. "We are not alone," Sanchez said. "Many planets respect what Earth is doing. If we stand strong, we can build new friendships and protect our future." As the humans pushed forward, the Krelth Dominion's control weakened. Planets once ruled by the Krelth began to rebel, inspired by Earth's resistance. The war was spreading across the galaxy. In one daring mission, Reed's Shadow Wolves captured a Krelth officer who carried valuable information. He revealed plans for a new weapon that could destroy entire cities with a single shot. Earth's scientists worked day and night to find a way to stop this weapon. They tested new defenses and developed countermeasures. The pressure was high, but the human spirit did not break. One evening, as the sun set over a recovered city, General Sanchez stood with her team. "We have won many battles," she said, "but the war is not over. We must stay strong and ready." Lieutenant Reed nodded. "They thought we were weak. They were wrong. We will fight until Earth is safe." The war was no longer about fear or anger. It was about hope, courage, and the unbreakable will of humanity. And the galaxy was watching. The long war between Earth and the Krelth Dominion was coming to an end. The battles had been fierce and both sides had suffered losses. But the spirit of humanity had not broken. Earth's defenders had grown stronger, smarter, and more united than ever before. Commander Vrax sat alone in his quarters on the Krelth command ship. The weight of defeat pressed heavily on him. Their once mighty fleet was broken. Their advanced weapons were no match for the humans' will and innovation. "They are not just fighters," Vrax whispered to himself. "They are something more." Far below on Earth's surface, celebrations were quiet but full of relief. Cities that had been dark from war slowly lit up again. People came out of shelters embracing friends and family. The world was wounded, but alive. General Mira Sanchez stood on a balcony overlooking a city skyline. She looked up at the stars and thought about the journey Earth had taken. "We survived," she said softly. "But we must never forget what brought us here." Despite the victory, the leaders of Earth knew this was only the beginning of a new chapter. The galaxy was no longer a distant place. It was part of their future. Other civilizations watched closely, some with respect, others with fear. In a high council meeting, Earth's leaders discussed what came next. "We must build alliances," General Sanchez said. "Peace will require trust, but we must also be ready to defend ourselves." Lieutenant Jason Reed and the Shadow Wolves were honored for their courage and skill, but Reed reminded everyone that the fight was not over. "We won this war because we never gave up," he said. "We must stay vigilant. There will always be new threats." In the days that followed, Earth worked hard to repair the damage. Scientists, engineers, and workers joined forces to rebuild cities and infrastructure. New technologies were shared openly, helping to raise the quality of life for all people. Earth's military also changed. Lessons learned in the war led to new training programs and better equipment. The special programs that created enhanced soldiers continued, but now with more care and respect for the people involved. The Krelth Dominion, weakened but still proud, began to rethink their place in the galaxy. Some leaders called for peace talks, while others wanted to regroup and fight again. The future was uncertain, but Earth had shown that it was not a world to be taken lightly. On a quiet night, Lieutenant Reed stood outside, looking at the stars. He thought about the cost of the war, the lives lost, the battles fought, and the strength gained. "They declared war on Earth," he said quietly. "But no one warned them what we really are." The stars above seemed to shine a little brighter. Humanity had faced the darkness and emerged stronger. The galaxy had learned a lesson that would not be forgotten, and Earth was ready for whatever came next.